Uh, testing. Testing. I could hear it myself. Let me close that. That stays. Did it do? Give me 1 second. I'm adjusting to the reality of streaming again. Alright, and hello, and welcome. Hi everyone. I'm back. Hi Zab. Hi Paved. Hi Try. And hi Backslash. Nice to see you all. Yeah, I put on some music in the background. Hopefully that's alright. I forgot that my update does not have any kind of like music whatsoever. Yeah, it's the default music. This used to be on my old podcast kind of music. Unless it still is in the new one. I haven't done a podcast in the last 2 weeks, so I'll have to double check that. And I still need to sort out what I need to do with that. But yeah, today we'll just be talking about some game dev stuff. My existential crisis and wow, that was creepy. That music just stopping right there. That was really well timed. I hope you all had a good couple of weeks. I already posted about how my couple of weeks have been nice and relaxing. But outside of that, yeah, I hope you've had some good time off yourselves. Well, I don't know if it's time off for you all. I just assume everyone kind of goes on holiday when I go on holiday. Whew. Yes. Okay, let's see. Where do I begin? Or rather, where do I start? Let's I'm trying to think how to do this, because the thing is, I've decided to do something secretly that I know a lot of people will tell me not to do, and are against me doing it, but my gut says I want to do it this way. Which is that I want to remake the game a third time. I want to recode it entirely from the ground up, because it would take even longer to do with the current code base I have right now. And since I'm much better at game dev than I was before, I can fix a lot of things, I can reorganize stuff and make them more simple and straightforward. Why is there a picture of Malcolm in the Middle on my stream? Let me delete that. No, let's keep it actually. I don't know why I put that there. I wasn't thinking I needed something there while I was like talking, because I'm like thinking what to show. Yes, Malcolm in the Middle is peak. It is my favorite sitcom. I think I've said this before. This is my lore. I like Malcolm in the Middle. I was talking to my friend before I went on holiday, and it was like 1 hour before we were supposed to like watch some anime, but he was also watched Malcolm in the Middle, so I got on call, and instead of actually watching anime, we talked about Malcolm in the Middle for like an hour. There was another friend, and he felt he went real quiet because it's very rare I run into someone who freshly watched all of Malcolm in the Middle, I could talk about favorite episodes, weirdest episodes, and go for. Just like now, in this game dev stream where I'm talking about Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, I guess this will just be this will be a heads up. It will be a bit of a short one, partly because I'm still working on it. So I've decided I want to redo the gameplay. So I guess for context, let me play the original game on stream right now. Let me get a game capture here. Capture specific window. Magicians, thief. There we go. Technology's great. You could just drag and drop this and click it into place. I would have to turn the audio off to actually listen to the soundtrack on this game, which doesn't seem to be playing any. Is it because the audio? Oh, why aren't you playing the game audio? Ah, it's that one. Is that better? The audio's okay? I feel like I probably should just play this every single time I do an update. The update's not in this version of the game. I mean, I'm literally creating it from scratch again, so what I'm going to show you, and you already saw a teaser in the thumbnail, is not even a game. That is quite loud for me, so I'll lower it a bit. Oh wow, okay, I'm doing things I'm not... You'll see in a moment when I... Oh my god. Okay. That's really funny to be bad at my own game after not touching it in a while. Also because I've added new mechanics, so not being able to do these things and instinctively pressing the wrong buttons is kind of weird. I guess I could showcase what I have done. It's basically a working prototype. And I'm not going forward with it until I know 100% things are gonna be okay to go forward with. Also, hello, Eric. Good evening. It is... Yeah, 6 o'clock over here. I guess it... And yes, I forgot I lowered that. Oh my god. I used to be good at this. Okay, there was a lot of work put into this. Sorry, I just like realizing, oh yeah, I'm gonna remake the game, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so many things in here that I've like gotta recode or re-import, basically. Yeah, what I'm going to do is gonna fundamentally change how the game design and level design will look. I debated on it, but like... For me, it's not enough. I'm not satisfied with the game in its current state. And I want to do something that will knock it out the park and make me go, yeah, I want this. I had a long conversation with my brother about this because he works in a creative field. I'm not allowed to say what because I don't want to dox my own ass. That... Like, it's important to know when to stop. In terms of, like... If I... Like, my gut says that I want to remake the game a third time. My heart says I probably could not do it a fourth time. If that makes sense. Like, there's like a certain level of, like, I need to know when to stop. And maybe I go back to this particular project and finish this off and then make this Magician's Thief 2 or whatever, but ultimately, like... it there are a number of factors why I want to do that. Have you made any safeguard to make sure you don't have to rewrite it again? It's less of rewriting it. Well, okay, it's like I have backups of all this. It's not like I've lost the files or anything. When I say rewrite, it means just porting the code over to a new project and then making sure it works with the new mechanics and ideas I have in place. And these ideas and these new mechanics won't work here because they're like gameplay changes, which I will do after I get my head around this, because I'm replaying this right now, not to pad the time out. Well, I am partly doing that, but also because I want to just refresh my memory on what needs to be, what I want, what makes this demo work, and what I can take from it and you reuse in the other one. I mean, I'm still quite proud of the boss idea of not just being a single room with a boss fight. It's like an actual platforming section. But my new I'm basically reworking a lot of the prototype and trying to think what kind of new version of a platformer can I make using this. Sorry, I'm building hype to something that you haven't seen yet. I think I'm just trying to explain why I don't think if I released a full game of this, it wouldn't be enough for me personally. Also, hi Cole. It is I, the Fiorenzo. I've never actually read my name out shortened before. I just realized how silly it is. Fiorenzo. Fiodorenzo. I don't even know why I picked that name. I think I just picked it because it sounded cool. No, I think I remember now. It was like, because I really liked that one Nijisanji member, Belmond, and I always liked his name, and I wanted to do a cool name like that. That's pretty much the only reason I even call myself Theo. A cool name. Eric says, yeah, at a certain point you need to deliver a finished product, but a second game could make use of a lot of ideas you could get while developing the game. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the like split path I'm stuck with at the moment. I'll hit next so I can have some background music. Where it's like, okay, I could continue this project, or I could build on it onto something new. It's tricky. I'm fairly confident I won't have the same problem like I did when I remade this the first time. The original first demo of this game is dreadful, and I had a lot of confidence putting that out. Like, genuinely, like, I will replay it, and I'll be like, oh god, why did I play this? In fact, why don't we play that? That's another thing. I want to talk about how I've gone from one thing to the other. Okay, I don't have I have a backup of that old version, but it's on an older build on a different well, no, on the same engine, just a different version. But thankfully, I had uploaded it to itch.io. I'm doing some laptop repairs, so I won't be super active in chat, just lurking. Nice to have you back, though. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for taking time to tune in while I ramble on about random things. Let me close that. And let me open this. Oh my god, I don't really want to play this. Oh wait, I just downloaded 2.0 again. Whoops. Wow, I really don't want to touch 0.1. I mean, it's probably a good way to showcase what that version is like, ultimately. Like, I can dunk on my own game. It's my own creation. Is the game capture showing my game engine and all its terrible code? Well, no, it's not terrible code. Why is that? Why did it do that? Hopefully nothing personal was shown on there. I will double check the video footage. I'm pretty sure there is nothing on there. No, wrong game. Open. Oh wow, this version of the game's called version 1.112, even though on itch.io it's 0.1. It's barely a 0.1. Oh my god, it's loud. The audacity of this game. Getting mad at my own game. Oh wow, it doesn't even read it as a game. Okay, maybe I'll just do like a display capture? Starting up a game with super loud sound, a classic. Yeah, this is weird. Okay, I gotta be careful next time. Because closing that outcome in the middle needs to go off the screen. Let's just delete that. That's actually in the way. So this is the very, very first. So this is the prototype. Oh my god, it's very loud. Let me lower that volume. Actually, do I have options? Oh wow, look at this primitive. Oh, this takes me back. Wow. This looks terrible. There's no jump buffer. I don't think there's even a... No, Coyote Time's in there, but jump buffer isn't. Hi Theo, hi guy, hi Loven, nice to see you. Well, I was gonna say welcome back, even though it's technically me that's back, but welcome back everyone. Looks good to me. I appreciate the kind words. I guess I'm too mean to myself, but like this version of the game, like if you fell down this hole, there's no screen shake, I believe. Yeah, it just makes a boop sound effect. There is Coyote Time. There is no jump buffer. A jump buffer is when the game registers you pressing the jump right before you land, so you jump in time. So it kind of tricks the player into thinking their input was read just in time. Oh right, and you can't dash when you're on the floor. You have to jump to dash. Yeah, I remember that. The floor, the collision on the floor is disabled as opposed to like you being connected to the floor as it falls all the way down. That was the oldest version of the enemy, which is this tiny little thing. You can't hit it. Can't do anything. Oh, you can't duck. There's no... Welcome back, Theo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. He keeps welcoming me back. It's nice to be back, honestly. As nice as the holiday is, I do miss just randomly waffling on for an hour-ish or so. I think I got enough of an understanding of this level. Yeah, there's no sound effects, no bird ability, no dialogue. There's a dialogue system in here, a very primitive one. Oh wow, that square block. It's a square block instead of a circle. Make notes of this, and then when I replay the other one, you can see what I did differently. This room remained the same for most of the build. Oh my god, I forgot about this music as well. Oh, and yeah, the checkpoints. There were checkpoints. At that. I mean, the one thing I can at least appreciate is that, oh yeah, all my efforts weren't in vain. Like, when I compare it to how I compared this to how it was and how I am now, the game is much better. And obviously, I'm literally talking about changing the entirety of the game a third time. So much so that all these level design ideas might not even survive. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. 5 health? Okay. This room remained the same to some extent. Oh, that was dastardly. Dastardly, what a good word. I forgot I put holes in the floor there. Oh, right, and when you go through the door, it automatically has you facing one side as opposed to the side you're supposed to be going. I gotta find a good example of what I mean. This room actually remained the same. I remember the feedback back then was that everyone liked that room. This room as well, for the most part, stayed the same. So that one's fun. Yeah, the floor, okay, that one I remember. This room, okay, I'm glad some things stayed behind. It means my level design chops were still pretty okay at the time. I don't like the fact that I have to jump to dash. And the dash effect is just kind of a transparent version of the player, whereas in the final version it's like red. Oh my god, that thing moves. Yeah, and so, yeah, in this room sort of stayed the same. The change I made was that I added 2 blocks instead of 1 block. And the reason for that was because the most players did not try the jump. Oh my god, that was evil. Thank god I left. Thank god the spawning was still here. Oh wow, okay, I forgot. Knockback is actually stronger in this version. So I kind of just go flying if I'm not careful. I'll be eating dinner. I'll be back in a bit. You enjoy dinner. I had a nice dinner moments ago. Probably one of the best pies I've ever had. That's not true. I've had really good pie. That is a bit of a reach. I had a pie that was like mint and lamb, like minced beef and lamb. Minced beef and mint. Sorry, I'm trying. It was like a mix. It was very nice. I forgot to take a picture of it though. Yeah, this text system was a completely different text system that I made. The thing about the third version of the game, if I decide to do it, is that I have found a very lightweight, customizable text system that is much easier and much nicer to use. Oh, that sounds special. Oh, it was delicious. Well... Let me just make sure I do this correctly. Yeah, no, I was gonna do one of those never kill yourself posts with like a really nice picture of the pie. I wrote it on the web Twitter thing, and then I was like, oh wait, I need to go take a picture, so I went to go and try and take a picture. But I grabbed my phone, got distracted by browsing my phone, then I ate my pie, and then I found out I accidentally tweeted, "Don't kill yourself," or something on Twitter specifically. Not on Blue Sky if you're on that. feel like I have to clarify, because saying something like, oh, I accidentally tweeted this would be a bit weird to do on your phone. Yeah, no, I wasn't being, like, serious or anything. I realized afterwards, I was like, well, I probably shouldn't have... I might have to, I should probably go back and delete... Oh, this goes forward. Okay, that was a bit different to the other one. I mean, yeah, you should never kill yourself. Unless you're, like, one of the worst people on the planet. And you totally deserve it, kind of thing. But, like, no, don't kill yourself. Especially when there's pie waiting for you at the end. There we go. Thank you for playing my demo. Play again? No, thank you. Now, what is going to happen if I close this? Okay. Alright, and now we're going to get that prototype to be shown. Now, let me put the music back on, because there's no music for this prototype, because there's... that goofy-ass music. It's fine, it'll work with whatever I'm trying to do here. Efficient Thief Debug. Yeah. Alright, so this is my new working prototype for version 3. Wow, that overlay says 001, it should say 002. I will change that next time. What a disaster. I mean, so far I think this has been a successful stream. Though I have waffled up until this point. I'm trying to at least hit over the hour limit. It's usually 2 hours, these streams, but because it's like an update of things, it's like I've spent the last week or so when I've came back up until now working on a new prototype. There's no sound effects, it's just got the basic stuff coded back in. Currently the only thing here is my game, and my game has a character with over 600 lines of code written for him. Now, this is how you normally remember the game. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. But the new thing is, if you hold the RT button, you can move faster. Now, what does that mean? Well, I was trying to figure out what can I do to improve the gameplay, and so I did this. Wall jumping. I've implemented wall jumping. And I implemented my dash down as like a normal thing. This fucking music's back again. Crouching hasn't been re-implemented yet. The problem is, if you add a new mechanic to a game, you have to test it with everything, and there was a lot of testing done. So... Now, wall jumping is fairly simple in a lot of games. Like when I look up videos on how people do wall jumping, and I looked at different ways of doing it, I couldn't figure out why it was pretty difficult to code until I actually tried it myself. Well, that's the thing about game development, I think, especially with platformers, is that you can do the basics, but if you want to add something new, like if you wanted to add wall jumping, it makes sense on any other game, like if you're starting out. But for my game, I'm like, okay, how can I make wall jumping feel correct and kind of work here? So like if let me do something, actually. I'm gonna do this. How is it showing this screen? Amazingly, nothing's here going to dox me. Okay, I just gotta be careful then. Whatever. Put on visible collision paths, so you can see what happens when I hit play. Yeah, for some reason, Switch it changed this window. I'm gonna move this off the screen. That's not supposed to be there anyway. Okay, so if I switch screens, what I'm gonna do is just delete it and re-add it. Because I think what's happening is that it's grabbing. So yeah, this is what it looks like when I have the hitbox detection and all that on. So the two square blocks protruding both sides of the magician thief, which looks a bit dodgy. Let me just reposition this lagging. Is it lagging for people? Okay. Oh no, it is lagging, isn't it? Or am I just seeing that? Oh wow, okay. OBS does not like that. Okay, let me. Okay, you've seen this. You've seen this. Okay, I'll just explain. The two white boxes on the side are to tell you which side of the wall you're on. So when you click, yeah, wall jump or wall slide, the character body turns based on which wall he's on. So if I'm on this side, he faces left. If he's on this side, he faces right. Ignore that. I keep pressing that out of habit. They are also deactivated when you're on the floor, so you can't wall jump when you're touching the side of the wall. It can only be done when you jump. So we are going to let me turn off. Yeah, for some reason things are lagging. Why are things lagging? Things are actually lagging on my end. I apologize. This music is very fitting. I might have to close some things, so give me a. I apologize for this. Yeah, game. Sorry, things are lagging on my end all of a sudden. I'm not sure why. And this is showing my screen again. What a disaster. I apologize. I keep apologizing. I gotta stop apologizing. That's pizza time. Okay. What? Can someone send a message just to confirm my stream isn't fucked? I think it should be okay. Oh wow, no, it's just my engine. My engine's just lagging really bad. Hello. Thank you, Try. Yeah, it was just lagging on the game engine itself. Not my game. My game is my prototype. If my code isn't bad, that it would cause the game to lag. That was weird. Okay, I don't need to explain that exactly the way I just did. Capture specific window. Ew. Yeah, okay, it's working fine now. I think it's because I had multiple copies of the engine open. Because I was going to do another thing if I ran out of ideas for the stream. Hmm. There's a lag, but maybe if I export the game, it'd probably be better to do that. Actually, let me try that. Oh my, okay. Close that. Project, export, Windows, export, project. Because that way I can confirm. Magician Thief. I have like multiple folders of Magician Thieves. But this one just says Magician's Thief, which I think says a lot. It says how serious it is. But the other ones used to be called Project Bean and Project Jelly Bean. Now it's called Magician's Thief, which you know is the real version. Right, let's do this again. Hopefully without lag. If I click off this screen, let's see what happens. Yeah, god damn, that's better. Yeah, okay, I'll just do that in the future. It doesn't like me having the editor open while streaming. But yeah, yeah, as I was saying, there were two boxes on the side of the player. The second problem I ran into was if you were not right up against the wall, like, the thing about game development is there are things you never expect or you don't think about until you actually do it. Like, an average person's not going to think about this. Like, if I jump up and I grab onto the wall, I have an animation for the wall. But how do I get the exact, like, I'm right up against the wall, but if I'm slightly away from the wall and I do it... Sorry, that's a bad example. Yeah, I still cling to the wall. And the reason why is because I deliberately push the player towards the wall when they grab onto it. How is this why was this a problem? To be more exact, is that when you do this animation has to be pixel perfect next to the wall, and if you're standing even slightly away, it will look like the character's floating. Like little things like that where you just don't know. But yeah, so the main mechanics of the game is still here, where you can jump, shoot, and whatnot. But if you hold on to the wall jump, you can jump. Another thing I did to make the wall jumping feel nice is that it automatically fires the player. Like, you can see me do this, right? That's because what's happening is that when you press jump, it forces the push and direction just enough so you could bounce off the wall without having some weird, like, stick back problem. So I guess some people will say, oh, you could just do this, which is kind of funny now the more I do it. But that was another thing I learned. The current version of me versus the old me. The old me would spend ages trying to fix that and think, oh, this is a problem that needs fixing. Probably not. Not when I design my levels in a boxed room anyway. And if a player wants to try and break it, I think that should be a reward in some way, unless it's like broken. But yeah, so that's how it works. And when you like, the wall jumping happened on accident because originally I was just gonna have it so the player just accelerates, but then when I realized, oh right, if you hold down the button, it means it gives the player more control, as opposed to like, oh, if I jump and because that's how I used to think. Magician's Thief, the very, very, very first version, wanted to have wall jumping. I just didn't know how to code it. So back then it would be like, as soon as you touched the wall, you jumped and you bounced, but it always felt weird and clunky. And that's because, like, it's because I don't feel like I'm in control. So if I'm holding down the R button and I jump towards the wall, I know for a fact I'm gonna click to that wall. And I can casually jump without having to even move the control stick. Yeah, like that. Which is a nice feeling. So yeah, that was one of the things I said to myself. If I could get the wall sliding done correctly, I think I can actually go through with this version of the game. personally. The second thing, which is if I hold L, I can turn into a ball. That white box is an enemy, by the way, so if you touch that, it just injures you. But I have unlimited health because I haven't really implemented the health system again. I just needed the basics. But yeah, the idea is that you can turn into a ball, and let me show you. Like this. Yeah, there's an acceleration. Yeah, you can accelerate when you're as the ball. I was trying to think, why? Well, okay, if you turn into a ball, your hitbox gets small, which means you can dodge enemies, but people will be like, oh, but okay, what if the player just wants to be the ball the whole time then? So the cons of being the ball is that you're slower when you're the ball. You can still accelerate when you're the ball, but you're not as fast as when you're outside the ball. I felt like that was just enough to do the difference here. Also, I really like this animation. Fun little fact: when I originally going way back, because this was originally made in Unity, the oldest version of Magician's Thief, and I made the animations for all the characters. This character animation has been like the one thing that has carried on still. But yeah. Oh, it seems you can. Sorry, can you dash while ball? Kinda. I wanted to do the pole dash, but I was like, I think this is fine as it is. In terms of how do I explain that? Because I guess I didn't want to give the ball too much OP-ness, I guess. Because well, actually, to be fair, the player dash also uses a hitbox that shrinks, but that's only because the character's flying sideways, so it makes more sense to shrink the hitbox. I remember an old friend would point out that it felt wrong to whenever he dashed, and that was because hitbox wasn't changing, and so yeah. So the reason I probably won't make a separate ball dash is because I think it would be a bit more complicated. Though it looks kind of funny here. Looks kind of funky. Oh, I guess you can still get hit as a ball. Huh, that's fine. I was wondering what happens there. So yeah, I can dash at while the ball. But you can see immediately why, when I was talking earlier about how most of the level design might get scrapped, is because it would be in favor of bigger rooms like this, where the idea is, okay, so actually I'll explain that in a second. I need to show what this is, where if you jump and press Y, you can destroy those. It's like a destroyable crate. I always wanted to do that with the dash down ability, I just never figured a good use case for it. So that's what that does. That was me working up new ideas for the prototype to go, okay, how can I make all this work? So yeah, that's what that does. But yeah, so the idea is that a level design would be that a player can approach it how they want. So instead of you can dodge an enemy, well, actually you can hold accelerate. If you're wondering how I time that perfectly, it's because what happens is that it used to be that when you turn into the ball, the hitbox only changes when the ball power-up is fully transformed. However, I found upon playtesting that if I was in the middle of transforming, I would get hit. So I thought, okay, something feels off here. If I'm running towards an enemy and I press hit while it's transforming and I get hit, I don't feel like that's fair on me. It should be more, it feels unfair. So I changed it, so as soon as the ball animation starts happening, you can actually the hitbox will change automatically. So yeah, that's that idea. Oh yeah, the ball also jumps higher than the player. That's like the other advantage. So the ball can go under small things and can jump higher. So I just found a new con to this, which is that it's really hard to control the ball when you're jumping. It feels a bit funky, and I think that's because it thinks there's a player there. Well, no, I think that's a good trade-off, I guess. Like, people won't abuse the ball power-up. Sorry, I keep waffling on about random things. Basically, this ball power-up was the very first thing I animated way back when I was coming up with random ideas. The game originally had a concept of being like a almost Metroidvania-like, so that's why there was a ball power-up, because I was thinking of Metroid. Yeah, so the idea obviously being that I go through here, and then I can do this. So yeah, that's what that does. Also, like, another thing is that I was against adding the ball power up back into the old version of the demo, the version I released a month ago, because I was like, I said I don't really have a good reason to use it, and it felt very broken. It felt like an annoyance to code, which is true. If you code anything new to a game's mechanic, it gets really, like, complicated. Do you want another thing to talk about, game related? Yeah, sure. Go ask me things. I will answer, and I can waffle. I guess I'm just showcasing, like, this little thing, because I haven't shown my friends this, because I have a feeling various people will be like, are you sure you want to do this? But I feel I was like, I gotta make a working prototype. So the idea is that I'm gonna make the level in this style. I'm not gonna do graphics. I'm not gonna do enemies or animations. I'm just gonna do a few rooms that are quite big compared to how it was, and you want to go through a few rooms and a few challenges. And with the ball power up and other mechanics, like, the idea is that you can approach it going this way or that way. But yeah. Game engines. Would love to try to do a 2D platformer. What engine to use? I don't want to learn much coding. That's a complicated thing, because these games, if you want to do a very specific type of platformer like I am, this character alone has over like 600 lines of code. That's not true. That's not true. I'd say 300 lines. Sorry, I'm taking into account all the spaces. But there's a lot of things I have to, like, test over and over. If you're doing a basic thing, yeah, there are some really good tutorials on YouTube. I recommend the Godot engine. That's the engine I use. I think it's the easiest engine to learn if you want to do a platformer of any kind. And itch.io has tons of, like, assets you could reference or use for practice as well. Like, if you don't want to do character animations for, if you want to just, like, code a game, and well, not code a game, you know what I mean, like, if you want to make a platformer and you want to use a character sprite from something, you can go on itch.io and find some of those and use those as reference. I think there are tutorials where they're like, you could use all sorts of kind of things. Yeah, that's why I'm a bit conflicted to recommend it. Godot has a lot of coding. That would be the only way I could think of doing a 2D platformer. Otherwise, yeah, there are some good YouTube videos. There are some good YouTube videos I would personally like. I might have to look into double checking, but yeah, there. it's a complicated thing if it's your first time. For me, it was like I'm a programmer, I'm a web developer, I'm all kinds of developers actually. So I have like years of experience of like coding, so this comes as like second nature to me. But I also realize that yeah, it's a bit more complicated to. Whoa, why did that happen? Is the hitbox just barely underneath? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't even trust that. Why is that doing that? If I get hit, yeah, I don't know why that's happening. But yeah, would people want to see a version of the game they saw before mixed with these new mechanics and kind of a bigger, more open level design? I think what I'll probably do is mix various rooms together to make fun little challenges as opposed to them just being this particular. Instead of me having to start entirely new, I guess is what I'm saying, because the complicated thing is what's happening there? I know why that's happening. Pretend that didn't happen. I just again, this is a prototype. That's an animation bug. I am loading the wrong animation in here. What's happening is that when you go, I've added a like a safeguard. So like if there's a raycast on the player that's pointing upwards, it's basically an arrow that's pointing upwards, and if it detects. No, it's not that actually. Sorry, it's a square box. I made it a square box to match the width of the player. So if the player like dashes, because they can dash underneath things, if they dash and they get stuck underneath a wall, they'll automatically turn into the ball. What's happening here is that I put it in the code on accident to play the ball transform animation as opposed to the ball active animation. And the ball active animation is supposed to be this animation. And so when you go out, it turns off. So yeah, that's my little like fun little project of my desire to want to go even further with the game I got. I think it also fits the Magician's Thief theme. Like the idea behind it is that I'm just trying to like give more players a bunch of assets to use for playing around with. Like when the player, like I think for me as well, it's like the core mechanics work still. Like if you want to dash down, shoot, and all that, the game and the same speed and everything, and the physics are all there. But like holding down the accelerate to do these additional things, and like holding down the ball power up activates when you hold L, and when you use the ball power up, you can do that. Sorry, to reply to what like Eric said. Ball sounds like it could be a speedrunner's tool. High reward for high skill. Yeah, so I just discovered something. So if I like turn into the ball and I jump and I let go, it's like I still maintain the like jump momentum. So yeah, there's a bit of a speed there. There are a lot of like it's not broken enough to be like worth fixing. It's broken in a way that's like you have to do a very specific set of inputs to like to do this. So that's a good example of like a speedrun strat. Another thing a person used to tell me was like actually a few people said the same thing, where they didn't know about this extra dash, where if you know the exact timing of the dash, you could do it. Saitokin says, "Hope you have been well, Theodore." Oh, thank you. I have been doing well, thank you. I actually got back from a holiday, and I say that, and during my week off coming back, I had to like wind back down, and I started coding again, reworking my game onto a new prototype. But otherwise, yeah, I've been doing well, thank you. I hope you are doing well too. Nice everyone has turned up. I always worry that no one will turn up to a stream. I've only had it once. kind of, but usually one or two people turn up to like cheer me on. So, so yeah, had fun with that. I guess I could. Let me see. What else do I have? I guess like I'm trying to think. Maybe I could turn this into like. I know I've been playing a lot of Pizza Tower, and I have actually studied Pizza Tower's like mechanics, so I could learn. So I could get better at learning how my own game works. Like their wall jumping is different to mine, but like the idea. I kept thinking when I was like struggling to figure out why the wall jumping doesn't work or feel nice. It's because the when I was studying how Pizza Tower does it, because like I never once questioned Pizza Tower's one, and yeah, that's how I learned about the you hold down the button to then do the wall jump as opposed to the other thing. But in Pizza Tower, it's like you run up the wall automatically if you hold it, so it's not really a. And when you jump, it bounces the player off until they land again, so they have no control over their momentum. But in my game, obviously, you can turn around mid doing it, because I think the idea behind, or at least the philosophy behind what I'm trying to go for, is that I want. What is it? I've talked about this before. It's you know how in those new Spider-Man games, a lot of reviews and a lot of people will say you feel like Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure I've said this, but I talked about this before. But like for me, like that makes a lot of sense to me, and you want to feel like the magician thief, and you want to feel like you're in control. So being able to do all these things so naturally, and actually, did he just like turn? Wait, I just need to check something. I just did a bug. It's supposed to lock the position you're facing, so let me just do it up here. Yeah, you could turn while crashing down. That's funny. I'm supposed to disable that. But yeah. I'm discovering things right now just as I waffle. The only thing I haven't added back in is the lock on button. I should add a lock button. Basically, if you hold what the L button used to do before it turned into a ball, was that it locks the direction you're facing when you're shooting the gun. Give you more control when you're targeting something. Yeah, so I think that's it for that. I go back. Oh, that's funny. The bounce back is higher because I'm holding the accelerate for some reason. Wait, I'm gonna make notes of these. I just like found a few bugs just by showcasing this. Ball animation loop when you dash under. Dash down, you can randomly turn left and right. Randomly turn left and right. And if you hold dash and touch the enemy, you bounce back far. It's similar to the wall jump. Okay, I got the notes there. Yeah, so if you hold down the accelerate button and you touch that, yeah, you're bouncing back. But that's like, it's the same, like, this is how I debug. I immediately know that it's connected to the wall jump. So it's probably that there's the jump mechanic is checking if I'm wall jumping or accelerating, and it's bouncing the player back depending on. I'm misinterpreting what I'm doing as opposed to like actually being hit. So yeah, that's how that works. I'll hit an hour, but what else can I show? Do. Yeah, I got something. Do I have time for it? I did my own like little game jam. So this was during streaming, when I was streaming before I went on holiday. But I made a joke like board game for my friends who like Bang Dream. I didn't have time for this to actually fully do this, but I'll show you what I did. Basically, it was a week game jam, and I wanted to do a shit post for my friends. Two of them specifically, because no one else actually watched or played Bang Dream. So what I did was what my friends described was insane. So I made this within a week, and the joke was that like you can select a character from Bang Dream, any 4 characters, because there are 4. You would have 4 players. You hit ready, roll dice. I basically tried to make a Mario Party within 10 days. I think it was like a 10-day game jam for myself, and here is the dice mechanics where you roll to take a turn, and then aim of the game, you have to perform as many lives as possible. There are 4 on the map. You can only play at each of them once. After you played at all 4, they'll... Wow, I should worded this better. I kind of did slap these together last minute. Like, I coded the board game. Cards may send you back or forward, or give you money and points. Blue gives you 300. Yeah. Oh my god, what's happening here? And I made this. Look at it. Look at it and be amazed. My glorious shit post. It's horrible though when I think about why I made it. I made it this big because I copied a Mario Party map. Only to realize it works in Mario Party. It does not work here. And yes, I made a little like camera system so look around. I should repurpose this for something else one day. So you can roll the dice, so player 2 goes first. Or I should clarify before I continue, I might land on card spaces, and those card spaces have spoilers for anime related stuff. So if you plan to watch Bang Dream, you are warned. There are some joke meme cards in there, but some of them are huge spoilers or spoilers in some way. Thankfully, nothing happened there. And there's no end state to this. You just keep playing until it ends. Okay. I'll say that like I plan to build on this a lot more because I plan to see my friends again in November. I'm obviously not going to be building on this anytime soon. This will probably be the last month before November I go back to this project. I added a generic background in the back, and if you're wondering how how I got the movement to work, it's because basically what happened was I reused the level select code from Magician's Thief. You know, the overworld when you got a little map select? I did that and just reworked it to go with some RNGs and some button prompts. Very time consuming. If I can land on a spot worth showing. Okay, so here. So to replace the star system, because I didn't want to do the stars. I didn't want to code the star system from Mario Party. I didn't want to be like, okay, in Mario Party there are like 5. For a random map, for example, there are 5 spots where the star will appear, and it will randomize and select that spot. When a person collects that spot, it will randomize and select a different spot other than the spot it was last on. I think it does it a few... Actually, I think it rotates, like it doesn't use the same spot until all spots have been used, if that makes sense. They'll randomize the spots, but out of the ones that haven't been selected. So anyway, yeah, I didn't want to do that. I didn't have time to code that, so I changed it to a system where if you go here, like you're a girl band, right? And your whole point is that you are performing your lives, and you're playing as a band. So you go here and you play, you perform a live. So hit yes, you played the live, and you gain 100 points for it. So the idea behind that, I didn't get much time to finish it. The idea was that what happens is you roll a dice to determine how many points you do, like to say, oh, this is how well you did. And oh, I got a card. You were able to get help for. You were able to get help for your band. Roll for a new member. And I gain a new member that gets added to my team. Which I will explain in a bit. You can get those by landing on the band space. I created these graphics, by the way. I just kind of studied how Mario Party spaces looked. Yeah, okay, so now I've got 2 band members. And the idea was, and the idea still works, is that if you perform a live, you gain an extra few points. I think you gain like 25 points extra per extra band member you get. And that was the idea behind that. And I think that still works in its own way. But the idea was to also roll a second dice if you had a second thing. If it works, it works. Basically that, yeah. There wasn't much else to really say here. Like, I had fun coding this and putting it together in a week. It was complicated. Yeah, sure, let's play live here. And yeah, you have, then the idea is that you can only play at that thing once. You can't play it twice until you've done all of them. It looks fun, thank you. Music stopped playing. Yeah, there's no music in this, no sounds. I got some good laughs out of this because most of the fun came out of landing on the card spaces, because I coded the entire card system. Basically, the card system is that... how do I explain this without using coding terms? But I will explain the coding terms in a bit. Imagine a deck of cards, and I had to create a card for each, for a bunch of different things. Each card can do the following, which I believe is a card that makes you go forward, a card that makes you go backwards, a card that gives you a band member, a card that removes a band member. There's a card that removes all your band members, except for the player character themselves, and it's ones that give you points, there are ones that take away points, and there's one that give you money and one that takes away money. There's a lot of different ones, because I found out, I made 30 cards basically, and I had to go grab screenshots from the game, from the show, and the game, and the shorts, and try and think of references to a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm nowhere near done on that part. If I can land on more spaces with cards, I could show you. So I know one of the cards is a huge spoiler, so I'm praying not to roll that card. Ignore that. What the fuck? What? What? What the fuck? The chances of that happening? What? Sorry, I'm loading the code up. I need to know what was the RNG for that to even happen. That was a joke kill card. A character doesn't actually kill people. I should clarify that. I drew a card that was like, the card I was thinking is a huge spoiler. It's kind of a spoiler, but the context doesn't make any sense, and it was like a kill card that permanently removes a band member from the entire game. The reason I'm reacting weirdly to it is because I said that card was what was in my head when I said, oh, I hope I don't draw that card. There are, yeah, there are 30 cards, and I already drew. I'm sorry, I'm just flabbergasted. I need to go buy a lottery ticket now. I want to get a few more cards just to show you some funny cards. That card only makes sense if you watch the show and then think about how fucked up it was. So yeah, sorry, to explain how the card system works, imagine a deck of cards, and I have written every single card and what they did. Imagine that. And every time you draw the card, it goes into a discard pile, which means a player cannot roll the same card twice until all cards have been used. I don't know. I think I was just having a lot of fun realizing, oh yeah, I could code it to do that because it's not like that. It's very easy. How is no one landing on a card space? So yeah. Let me land on a card. I'll land on a couple card spaces, and then we'll call it for the night. You fell down some stairs. Move backwards 3 spaces. 3? Oh my god. Ew. You got gifted. Yeah, he got gifted chocolate coronets. Move forward 2 spaces. That always fucks me up because the middle space isn't a space. Like, so when I roll 2 just now, I moved 1, 2. But I didn't really move 2 spaces because this blank space isn't a space. It's a choice space. Great. Alright. Nice shirt. Okay, I forgot I just coded cards that did nothing because I thought it would be funny. But yeah, yeah, that was my other game dev project I'm doing as things I can talk about publicly, I guess. So yeah, those are the 2 ones I was having fun with. This one I did in 10 days. I was told by my friends that it's insane I did something like this in a week and on my own. I had one friend playtest. I kind of, because he wasn't able to make it to the meetup with my group of friends, and I kind of messaged him like, "You're 100% not coming to this meetup." And he said, "Yeah, fine." I said, "Fine. You like Bang Dream? Here, look at this." And then he gave me some feedback and ideas. So shout out to him. I can't say his name, or I'll risk doxing myself again. But yeah, yeah. Also, if you select a character, the text color, like turn number and player number, changes color based on that. Oh, sorry, I'm getting tired. My eyes are a bit weird from explaining and talking. Oh, give me a second. I know I should have ended the stream, but I felt like I needed to showcase something more than my current prototype. Yeah, it really is insane you made this in 10 days. I get told I'm pretty insane when it comes to coding things at times. But yeah, I really just love making games. Even if they're not really, even something like this where I said to myself, well, that's 10 days gone when I could be doing it on an actual game I should be releasing. But like, I learned a lot from this, and I had a lot of fun making like this Mario Party like, and coming to terms with the fact that Mario Party is a very bullshit game, but it's an extremely well-made bullshit game where the bullshit is beautifully crafted in a way that makes every session of Mario Party fun, at least for the most part. I was also thinking the other day, like, oh wow, At the least, it's 10 days of fun. Thank you. Yeah, that's the other thing I need to tell myself. Like, that was another thing I come to terms with a little bit more when I'm... The reason I'm doing a version 3 of Magician's Thief, as opposed to just finishing it off and then getting out the way, is that my passion... It was kind of dwindling, because I was like, okay, what's the... I want to release this game and make lots of money, sure. But I still want to make a game I enjoy and have a lot of fun with. And if I'm stuck where I am right now, with the current functionality and limitations of the current game, how can I expand it while keeping those things intact? And that's what the prototype's ultimately about. So, yeah, I'm going to be having fun doing that. And in regards to this Mario Party clone, I'll probably finish it off. What ideas was... Like, the item button doesn't work here, for example. I never got items done in time. So I had to, like, put that on the cutting room floor. And then, obviously, this map is too huge and visually uninteresting. So it might have to be more trimmed down to something like, if you've ever seen the game 100% Orange Juice, where the boards are very small and close up and connected. I want to create something like that. The reason the game even looks like this is because I was copying Mario Party. And it could run faster. It could also check where... Like, Mario Party has quality of life stuff, like if you roll a dice and you go to a point where this isn't the right place, but you know where there's a branching path. It should tell you which way is closer to the star, or in this case, the lives. But that said, it's complicated with the lives, because the lives are like... There are 4 of them on the map, whereas in Mario Party it's easier to do because the star is in place. It's the fun little dilemmas I run into, like stuff like that, where I have to think about how do I approach it differently, or what can I do to improve on the experience. And yes, I did code 45 characters into this game, from creating their assets to their little pogs to the little images on the left side, and picking... Well, actually, the wiki for Bang Dream actually has a color code for everyone, like a hex color. So I was using that, and then adjusting it and changing it. But yeah, there's absolutely, literally no reason for me to have done that, because when I got to play it with friends, only 2 other people were playing, and one of us had to pretend to be a computer because I didn't code a computer. That's a lot of characters to put in. That's true. Thankfully, it was worth it, because if I didn't, the whole band system where you can collect band members wouldn't have existed otherwise. That happened as a result of me deciding to do that, because I committed to doing a joke. Like, the joke to me is that 2 people played this game with me, and out of 40-something characters, only 3 were selected, you know? That, to me, is funny. And insane to have done. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I think that's everything I have to show. But thank you for letting me show off my prototype in this. And I hope you had a good time enjoying me waffle on about random shit for like an hour and a half. I certainly did. And we'll be back tomorrow, where I will be doing an anime list stream, as I always do on Wednesdays. The only difference is that it's a bit it's like 15 minutes shorter than usual, because daylight savings have happened and it doesn't affect my friends in the US, which means they want to watch stuff at 7 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. So I had to I'm like, okay, I'm going to as soon as I finish work, I'm immediately streaming my anime list stream. I will cook something. I will make sure to take care of myself while I do that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you had it was a fun stream. Thank you, Backslash. I was yeah, I like waffling on. Time zones are a pain, I agree. Thank you, Loven. Hope you enjoyed the stream, everyone. And we will catch up tomorrow. So you have... Oh, I haven't done this one in a while. Lovely morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, and you'll have a good one. Thank you, Try. Thank you, Call Eater. So I'm trying to reply to everyone who says, thank you for the streams. I'm glad people found it interesting. I'll have a lot more to talk about my next game dev stream thing. Alright, take care. Bye.